Good afternoon, we're at Hockenheim and it's Friday. In front of me, Marcus Ericsson. Hi.
Hello, hello.
So what happens on a Friday? Free practice and qualifying. It's not an ordinary race weekend, this is because you have an entire fan bus. Can we get a picture of all the fans? This is pretty amazing. The entire bus traveled for 21 hours down to Hockenheim to see you.
It's not bad, is it?
No?
I think it's very good.
What's the feeling having this massive support from fans?
Oh, it's amazing. It's really good fun, and it boosts you on, obviously. And not only this, it's also a lot of speeds around the track. No, it's really good to have this support, and it helps you a lot.
Yeah, and to the ones who aren't right here, we have seen many Swedish buses here. So if you see this, please wave and shout, "Go Marcus, go!" And behind you is the banner, which they managed to mount on the grandstand. So I think everybody knows you're here.
Yeah, support is good, so it's fantastic.
Yeah. What's your feeling about the Hockenheim track?
Hockenheim is a track I always done well on. I won here in F3, and last time I was here in GP2 in 2010 I had 6th place, I think. So it's always been a good track where I've been quite competitive. So I have very good memories from here, and hopefully we can have another good weekend this time.
Yeah, what are the best overtaking spots on the track?
There is quite a few, obviously into turn 2 and into the hairpin turn 3 or 4, whatever you want to call it. Also turn 5, 6, I don't remember the name, but there's quite a few different places you can overtake, so it's not too bad for overtaking for sure.
No, because some of the tracks are actually pretty boring.
Now this is a track where it should be good races and plenty of overtaking, so it should be good for the fans to watch.
Yeah, back to the free practice then. I was very happy to see you are very early out of the pits. You were second out. What was the thought about it?
And the plan was to get out quite early because we knew from the radar that the rain was coming quite soon. So we were only going to get a couple of laps in the dry before the rain was going to start. So we tried to get out very early, and we were second out on the track, I think, behind Gutierrez. Yeah. And I got quite a few clear laps and could do a decent time, was 9th. So the feeling in the dry was quite good. I did a small mistake on my best lap, so we were there or thereabouts. So felt quite confident for a dry and good qualifying, but that changed obviously.
Yeah, but first the free practice was interrupted by Serenelli spinning out of the Sachs corner. It's pretty tricky, that corner, going over the curbs, isn't it? Yeah, they have put a lot of AstroTurf there over when the curb finishes, and obviously the AstroTurf, you come through there very quick and the car is loaded. And when you go on the AstroTurf, it gets very slippery and it's easy to lose it, as we saw also Michael Schumacher lost it there in the F1s. So it's a tricky corner because it gets very narrow. The track is quite wide up until that point, and then it gets really narrow. So for sure that's one of the trickiest places on the track, I would say. Yeah, so the free practice you were P9 and Jolyon P15. Then over to the qualifying. You went out on a slightly wet track and then it became massively wet. You banked a couple of laps, but then all sky opened up. What was the feeling before the rain came out? To be fair, the car didn't feel very good from the first lap on. It was very slippery, which was a bit of a surprise. We had in Silverstone obviously a wet weekend where we were very competitive all the time. And then now suddenly in the wet we were having big problems getting the power down, and it was very slippery, the whole car. So it was a bit of a surprise, and then obviously, as you say, the rain became coming down very heavy, and then you cannot improve the time. So it was a bit of a shame. We were still, around 5th place for a couple of laps in the beginning, and then the last sort of dryish lap before the big rain, I got a bit of traffic, so it didn't make it any better for me. But still, we had a bit too much time to the guys who was quickest, like Van der Garde and Calado, who were very, very fast in the wet conditions. Yeah, they were actually, Calado and Van der Garde was 0.9 seconds in front of P3, so they managed to make their lap in the second. I had some guys from the Netherlands beside me, and they were shouting like maniacs. I wanted to shout, "Shut up!" So you finished P14 and Jolyon P21, but there will be penalty from the last weekend, which will put Gutierrez behind you, and we don't know if there will be any penalties. So what will be your strategy starting from P13 tomorrow?
Yeah, it's obviously we need to try and get in the top 8 and score a couple of points tomorrow, and then I mean, from 13th you can still get a podium if you're lucky, you know, and if you have the speed.
Go for it.
So we're gonna aim for high positions for sure, and then hopefully can have a good race on Sunday as well. So, you know, it's not great qualifying, of course, but it's not a disaster either. We've still plenty of time to make up for it and have 2 really good races with good points. So that's what we need to do tomorrow.
Yeah, to Martin Chatter, your meteorologist, I could just say, don't change your predictions. Shouldn't be any rain today. Well, I've got a question from Jenny. How do you stay so cool during the races, even when there are incidents? It doesn't show that if you are getting angry or trying to go for a revenge.
No, but it's very important, I think, in racing that you need to try and stay calm. Things happen, you know, drivers does things you think is stupid, but it's not going to help if you get stressed up and try and sort of hit back at them or anything like that. So you always need to focus on what you can do yourself to change the result, and that's the main thing all the time.
Yeah, and a question from one of your biggest fans, Ayan Bautista. Regarding your starting position tomorrow, would you prefer a dry or a wet race?
It's difficult. I think if we would have been a bit quicker in the wet, I would have said wet probably, but I think we have some question marks over the speed in the wet from today, and because of that I think the dry would be preferable for me. I think in the dry I have very good feeling for this track, and I think we can make up a lot of ground, and as we said before, we can overtake on this track as well. So for me I think dry would be the best, but anyway, whatever weather it is, I'm going to be quick and do a good race.
Okay, then the standard answer, if it's wet, then we want a drying race then.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think changeable conditions is always good when you're starting a bit behind, so that's not going to be bad.
As you can see, the support for here is immense. Let's have a picture of the big banner. And as you know, he will have supporters throughout the weekend, and we hope for a great race tomorrow, and talk to you tomorrow again.
So, perfect.